Listen, now I don't know if I'll be in Bangkok, Thailand, or even Thailand in general forever. But what I do know is this: if and when it is time for me to leave this place, it is going to be extremely, extremely hard. And today reminded me of that. Okay. In one of my latest videos, I shared how I have a love and not so loving relationship with Bangkok, I would say. Okay. Not Thailand in general, but Bangkok. And I didn't want to use love and hate because hate is such a strong word. And there are a lot more things that I love about living in Bangkok than not like. So I won't use hate. I have a love and not so loving relationship with Bangkok, but today I was really reminded of why I really, really love this city. And I could see why so many people like this city and love this city. Today, I had one of my prenatal appointments. Some of you guys know we're expecting baby number two, and we plan on giving birth abroad. More than likely, it will be in Thailand, but no promises to that. And so I had another prenatal natal appointment today. I would have rather seen more of a midwife, like a birth center type of home birth midwife. However, in Thailand, they don't really do home births. I am all for home births and birth center births, non-hospital births, but we decided that Thailand is still a great place because of the phenomenal state of the art, healthcare facilities, and hospitals. And the doctor that we are seeing, she has delivered thousands. I don't remember how many babies she said she has delivered. She's about 60 right now, but she's been delivering babies forever. She does natural births, water births, and so that's why we decided to go with her. But that is beside the point of this video. You can check out my other video here where I shared a little bit more about why we're deciding to give birth abroad and not the US. Okay. And so we went for our prenatal appointment, and there were some things that I really noticed today. There are some things that I know I've noticed before previously with being here for almost a year and a half, living here, I should say, for almost a year and a half. We have visited Thailand prior to that, like 2 years before moving here. But today really stood out. Your actual doctor does like your ultrasound type of scanning, right? Usually in the US, you'll have an ultrasound like technician that does it. And maybe if you have certain questions or specific questions, he or she may not know, they'll brush it off and say, you have to ask the doctor. So it's kind of very quick and, you know, in and out type of thing. But in Thailand, you'll notice that the actual doctor does the scanning. Unless it's maybe a special scan, maybe another doctor will do it. But typically, your doctor will do your scanning. So you can have conversation and you can go, be thorough versus it being one person does the ultrasound, like in the US. And then you have to then go to the doctor. The doctor will see it. But I feel like there's so much more that can be picked up and communicated, when your actual doctor, who is your provider, is doing your ultrasound. So that's one of the things that I noticed that I actually appreciate. Another thing was today we decided to do like the blood work stuff, right? You do your blood work to test for different types of things. They test your urine, they test your glucose, they test a whole bunch of stuff, maybe about a dozen stuff, right? So they draw blood to do that. They typically would do that during pregnancy, and most women would opt to do that. Some women may not opt to do that. So anyway, this is something that we decided to do. In the US, our experience was, and how it typically works, was that you'll see your doctor and then they'll schedule you to go to another facility, maybe another day or something, maybe the same day, but it will be another facility that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with your birth center or, your hospital, right? And so the hospital here, you guys, in Thailand, I'm going to just share a couple of things that I have noticed that is just so different from the US, okay? So we decided to do our blood work, and you guys, I did not have to leave the hospital. It was literally across the hall. right? It was literally across the hall. I went over, I got my number, and I was really surprised how quickly they called me because there were other people waiting. In like 10 minutes, they called me, they did my blood work and all of that, and I was done. I was done. Right there, I paid at the cashier. I was done. Okay. They have pharmacies within throughout the hospital. So not just like one area for a pharmacy. If you're seeing a neurologist, a heart doctor, uh, an orthopedics doctor, whichever, like whatever specialty type of doctor you need to see, they have them there readily available. You don't have to get a referral to see a specialist that's going to take 3 months because that doctor is booked for 3 months or 2 months. What if you don't have 2 months? What if it is an emergency and you need to see a specialist ASAP? In the US, they will have you waiting for your whole life to see a specialist. My husband had this experience, right? So he was concerned about his chest, young, fit guy, healthy, pretty healthy guy. He was concerned about his chest. He was feeling some stuff. And anyway, his doctor referred him to see a heart doctor. Y'all, this doctor was, I guess, so booked up or something. He was not able to see this doctor for like 3 months. And then the doctor pretty much asked him, "Oh, did you want to see if you can get an earlier appointment?" I mean, why would he not want to see if he could get an earlier appointment for something as important? He was very concerned as his like chest, his left side, so it could be his heart, whichever. Okay. And the other doctors weren't going to be available for like 4 or 5 months. Here in Thailand, you guys, if you were to go to the doctor, like a general doctor, and they weren't able to really, do x-rays or take a look at what's going on with your heart, they would literally lead you down the hall. There's the heart center right in, like the hospitals are so big and just so equipped and so overstaffed at this point. And I know it sounds ridiculous to say they're overstaffed, but they truly are. When we pulled into the hospital, we pulled up to park. The first time we did this, by the way, we pulled up, there were guys out there helping with, parking, getting people out, whichever, directly from the hospital. And they were like, "Would you like to valet park?" We were like, "Sure. How much?" Because we were kind of late at this point. So we are just like, "Just how much?" He was like, "It's free." Valet parking at the hospital. It's included with your visit. It's free. Okay. And so that's one thing. And so back to what I was saying. If you were to see like a general doctor and you had an issue, whether you wanted to see a gyno or just whatever type of specialist you wanted to see, you would literally be able to see a specialist that same day within the same hospital. You would not have to drive to go somewhere else to see a specialist or wait for 2 weeks or 3 weeks to see a specialist. In the US, if you wanted to just check your whole life, make sure that you're good, make sure that you don't have any issues that you have to worry about, and do, a full panel blood test, your organs, your blood work, all of these things. If you wanted to do that, number one, if you were trying to go through insurance, they would say, "Well, it's not a life and death situation, so I'm sorry, we won't be covering that." That's something that you probably would have to pay out of pocket for. It probably will take you forever anyway to do it, and you're probably going to be paying an arm and a leg to do it. In this region, not just Southeast Asia, but even in Turkey, Malaysia, I believe you can do this, Thailand, you can do a full blood panel, like, testing and different things like that. And you can book it possibly same day, right? Maybe you'll wait a couple hours or not. Maybe you'll be able to book it for the next day, but it's really that simple. And it usually does not cost more than like 500-600 US dollars to do a very thorough test. They're testing your heart, all of these different things, just the full works. Okay. It probably comes with lunch. Usually it does come with like lunch, meals, the whole works. That does not exist in the United States. And you're getting top-notch care and customer service. So it's not like it costs significantly less, but they're not using new equipment, or the customer service is not there, or it's not world class, or it's not clean. I'm talking about clean facilities, like prestigious looking facilities, okay? Better than I've ever seen in the US, to be quite frank with you. And so it just amazed me today. That experience, I would say today, with being able to just, I got my prenatal care done, and then I was able to just do my blood work right then and there. In the US, I remembered I had to wait a very long time, and then not a very, very long time, but while I was there, I had to wait for a while. But I also had to schedule another appointment to go like on another day at another completely another facility. And with being pregnant, you don't want to do all that. Okay. So it's just so convenient. And I really, truly appreciate how they have truly figured out efficiency. It is efficiency at its finest here in Thailand. And so after that, hubby and I, we had another experience today, right? Which I've actually never experienced this. So hubby and I, we decided to go to this other mall, Quartier Mall. You may have heard of it. It's a really cool mall in Bangkok. Bangkok has so many different malls. It's ridiculous. It's really crazy. And they all offer something unique. It's not like the same old, or you're expecting the same foods and different things like that. It's different types of food. You can get clean indoor types of like street foods, very affordable foods. If you want to fine dine or sit down at a really nice restaurant, whether a Western type of restaurant, a Thai restaurant, a fusion of that, whether a healthy salad bar type of restaurant like Jones Salad or Salad Factory, which are a couple of my favorite types of like healthy restaurants, you can have that. I don't know how they have figured out how to just have so many things in one place, but it's still being organized. It would almost seem as if it's supposed to be chaotic, but somehow it is not. And I don't know how they have figured that out. But I love that. And so today we had another experience, right? So we went to the mall, and this was our first time parking there. We've always taken like a Grab. We bought a car last year for convenience, just in case, now that we're expanding our family. And we have found, honestly, even though Bangkok can be a little crazy with the traffic and a lot going on with the bikes and all of that, we have found though that it has been very convenient for us to have our vehicle. And we find that we have saved a lot as well on Grabs and different things like that, going back and forth, and we can kind of just get up and go. So it has been convenient as a family. If you are a solo person planning on coming to Bangkok, moving to Bangkok or Thailand in general, you may not need to get a car. But again, we're a family of three. Sometimes we have our nanny with us, depends on what's going on. I'm expecting now, so I had a precipitous birth, by the way. I said that before, which meant that my labor was pretty quick. And so this is baby number two. I don't think it's going to be any longer than my first labor. So we want we wanted to make sure that we're able to just go. And it has been pretty nice, to be honest. We have lived in Bangkok for an entire year without having a vehicle, and it worked perfectly fine. Okay. And you can definitely do it as a family. But it also has been nice with having a vehicle. With that said, this was our first time driving to this mall and parking. So it said auto park. We're like, auto park, cool. Scan, you get the ticket and it automatically opened the thing, right? Pretty normal. We thought that's pretty much all that it was. We thought that's what it meant by auto park. So we drove inside, and there was this like elevator type of thing. And there was this guy at the elevator. We had to pull our car in to like this huge elevator thing. And then we got out. And then I guess they lifted our car in the elevator to like floor 4 or something crazy like that. And then when we got back for it, we showed them the ticket and they had it on the screen. Oh, your car is ready for you to be picked up. And it just came back. They leveled it down, or however I don't know. I have no idea. But I thought that was really interesting. I was like, is that doing the most, or is that like efficient? I was trying to figure out the system, or if it would have been easier if we had to just try to find parking. Sometimes trying to find parking can be a little bit annoying. So I was like, actually, this makes some sense, you know? So it was just interesting to see. It was cool to see. And the lounge area, you guys, not only that, you were waiting in this prestigious looking lounge type of area with AC. And I'm just like, this is really interesting. All to just park my car and to just pick it up, and it's all free. And parking is free up to 8 hours. I'm like, at this point, they probably just should have said just free parking. And so little things like that, they have figured out just how to make things more efficient, from the healthcare system to parking, to just a lot of different things. And I really do love it. So, however, there are some things that I don't love about Bangkok. Like sometimes the air quality, like even today, our doctor was saying the air quality gave her acne, and she's not supposed to have acne at this age. And so sometimes the air quality can be a little bit bad. You may just want to stay inside. Sometimes it is hard to tell unless you have it tracked like on your phone, or you have the air quality testing gadget to test the air quality. So that is also a downside, living in a place like Bangkok. If you want to learn more about some of the things that I don't love so much about Bangkok, you can check out this video here. I shared that sometime maybe last week or something. It's one of my recent videos. You can check that out. But yeah, Bangkok is a pretty interesting, cool place. And I think if I were to leave Bangkok, the efficiency, the convenience, the accessibility to things from even fresh fruits, veggies, and different things like that is what I would truly, truly miss the most, if I'm being honest. I would definitely miss that. So if I were to go anywhere else, any other country, any other part of Thailand, that it would be very hard for me to no longer have access to those things. So if I'm moving somewhere else, it definitely would have to have a lot of these things. Like the healthcare system has to be really good, just clean and efficient and just easy to maneuver, access to fresh fruits and veggies. It has to be there. It doesn't have to be as much as Bangkok. I mean, every corner you go, you can probably get fresh fruits and veggies and different things like that if you want, or, easy street food and different things like that. We don't eat street food so much, at least now anymore, unless it's things like maybe a roasted Japanese potato, in the skin, or maybe it's mango sticky rice. It really all depends. But we mostly, if we do like local types of foods, it would be the more indoor ones, like the more cleaner indoor facilities, to be honest, because you still have to be careful, before you eat, to be honest. Okay. You want to be careful. So we're kind of still particular about where we eat and different things like that. But even with eating at decent restaurants, nice restaurants, it's still, I would say, pretty decent, affordable. Bangkok can get expensive though if you let it. Like if you just say this is less than the US and this is less than the US and this is less than the you're gonna be spending a lot of money if you do that. So you still have to really be mindful of, what you're spending if you care about budget or budgeting, right? Some people don't. Some people don't care about budgeting. All right. So if that's you, this is not for you. That's beside the point of this video. I just wanted to share that. If you are someone who have been thinking about moving to a place like Thailand, to a place like Bangkok maybe, and you're thinking about like the healthcare system, I mean, we're pretty healthy people. So when it comes to like healthcare and stuff like that, for us, it's really, for one, especially now with having children, things happen with children, unexpected things, you never know. With planning to give birth, you want to have some access to medical facilities, right? And also in case of like emergencies and different things like that. So that's why healthcare matters and is important to us. For some people, I don't know, healthcare may not matter, but if you're someone who's thinking about moving abroad, or maybe you're thinking about Thailand and you're wondering how the healthcare system here is, then I want to tell you that I don't think you'll have any issues with the quality of the healthcare. Now, in regards to the cost, you may be wondering, what does it cost to maybe give birth, or what does it cost to do different tests and different things like that. I may do a new video for that if you would like for me to do another video. But in general, pretty standard, usually to see a physician, to see a doctor, any type of doctor for just like a general checkup, you're usually looking at about 2,000 Thai baht, which is about 60 US dollars, right? 60. And that is with or without insurance. If your insurance covers it, great. That's $60 that your insurance covers. If you don't have insurance or you have insurance but you're paying out of pocket, it's $60. It does not make a difference. See, the difference with the US healthcare system and healthcare systems elsewhere, the cost of the healthcare or the cost of the service is pretty straightforward when it comes to the healthcare system outside of the US. The US is like, surprise, you get a bill and you're like, oh, snap, I didn't expect to pay this, but I have insurance. You have insurance, but you still get a surprise bill in the mail, even though you pay about $500 a month for health insurance. I don't know, maybe $300, maybe $1,000 because you have a family, maybe $1,500 every single month. And yet still, you still had to pay a copay when you went to see your doctor or your specialist. And then if you had something special done or maybe a special surgery, maybe you gave birth, whatever that is, your insurance more than likely, maybe, hopefully, will cover most of it. And sometimes you're still left with a bill. Internationally, in other countries, they say, okay, this is going to be the cost of this. If you go this way, this is going to be the cost. And if you go that way, this will be the cost. And the cost is very straightforward. There's no like major surprises. Okay. And then the cost is also going to be a fraction of what it typically would be in the US. To have a water birth and spend 3 nights or so in a hospital and get a beautiful birth package with things for your baby and all of these things, including like a photo of the family if you want that, or footprints and um, just all the stuff, right? Lactation support, all of these different things. It's about 5,000, 6,000 US dollars. That's with or without insurance. If you have insurance, great, your insurance will cover it. If not, it's about $5,000 to $6,000 to have a water birth and spend like 3 nights in the hospital with ongoing care, with meals and the whole works. And that's at a more prestigious international hospital. If you're choosing a more very, very, very like local public type of hospital, it can be half the cost or less. Okay. So go figure. By the way, in regards to healthcare, yes, there are international healthcare companies. I've also noticed that some of these international healthcare companies accept healthcare providers like Cigna and a lot of the American healthcare companies that you'll see or that you may have used in the past in the US, they accept them here, but it would be no point of having them unless you maybe had a job or something where you're covered still under them. But it would be no point paying the US healthcare premiums, is what I'm trying to say. You do have international healthcare companies like Safety Wing. We have used them. We still use them today, and great um, we've had great experiences with them. We've been reimbursed for a lot of our unexpected like hospital visits and different things like that, even like for dental. If you are planning or you know that you're going to have a baby, they also do cover maternal care. However, like most insurance companies, though, you would have had to have had the insurance for at least 10 months prior to them covering any type of maternal or prenatal care, postpartum care, and different things like that. And that's still that type of full coverage, whether that's cancer, death, travel incidents, they cover a whole bunch of stuff for only like $150. Don't quote me on that rate just because things may change, but at the time of this video, it's around that cost. And if you choose not to have like the complete plan that covers extra stuff, like more serious types of health conditions or maternity, it's only like $50 and it covers like your travel and different things like that. You know, so if you compare the healthcare system, again, the cost, the quality, the customer care, the everything, it is so much better outside of the US, just in case you were wondering. Um, all right, you guys, I'll leave some videos here for you or my playlist here for you so that you can binge watch some of my other videos. If you liked this video, be sure to like the video, okay? Subscribe as well and hit the notification bell so that way whenever I post a new video, you'll be the first to know. Love you guys. It's 𝗔𝗍𝘁𝘂𝘁. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you in the next video. Be blessed. Bye.